Now, let's say you're making something with just absolutely crazy proportions that Eva. No, not Eva. I'm talking about something more cartoony.
Big O.
An Eva Mecha costume.
No, I'm thinking something like her.
Oh,
Girl's a good one.
Who did the Gur the other year?
oh my gosh. There was that huge head.
The huge headed Gur.
Okay. Say you're making something like her. You got a tiny little body and a huge head. How do I do something like that where I'm not going to look like a big head and a real skinny body? Well, what you do is you got to drop down the head. So you put your arms down and you can have yourself a large head, which usually like a poster comb, keep it light. And then you put your little body down here. Fill it up with both your little legs, your little arms.
Large heads, I saw a Pac-Man.
And move the crotch down between your knees. Like that. So that way you have little legs, little stubby arms, and a big head. With huge eyes to see out of, which is good because field of vision is a very important thing.
Yes.
When you make these costumes. Now, with the examples I brought here, you see out of the eyes. But I've made costumes where you have to see out the mouth, see out kind of below in the neck. Yeah, right now I'm actually working on an ancient Gear Soldier robot that's really ridiculous proportions on me where I actually see out the chest and the head's up here. So, it's just, whenever you plan these costumes, you have to consider field of vision. It's good if you can put multiple directions in it. Using fabric to see through, a nice black fabric is good because you can see out and a lot of people can't see in. You should go to the fabric store, actually take the fabric, hold it up in front of you, and look through it and see whether or not you can see through it. Now, the people at the fabric store are going to think you're quite strange, but it's a good thing to do, you know, hold up the fabric. And it doesn't always have to be black because, like I said, the Starscream is red eyes, so, you know, it's just, keep it a dark color because white is bad because you really can't see through it well, and it reflects a lot of light, and a lot of times a flash, people take a flash to be able to see right into your costume. That's not good. So that's why for the eyes like the Green Goblin, I used the lame base and painted that so it would be white on the outside but black on the inside. So a large foam head slip down over you, like that. So what you've got is you have arms down here, legs down here, and you still have plenty of movement, but you have the whole crazy proportion at the same time, which makes the character more believable. Questions, guys? Yes.
I met a girl who had made a full body fursuit of the Nine-Tailed Fox from Naruto, and she had wired the head so that whenever she moved her mouth,
moved?
How do you go about doing that?
Okay, well there's a couple of ways to do that. Let me get a head here.
There are two on the table over there.
Not that kind of head. That's a drawing. I mean, that's a drawing board. Okay. Now, some people will start the moving mouth thing with like a ski cap. So you'll have like the hood, or you can make the hood. Just, you know, have your eyes or mouth free. And you build it up with foam, get your muzzle, your ears. So you get your main part of the head, and you're working with your jaw right here. And it's going to be a little separate piece of foam. Some people will do fine if they just glue it directly onto the hood or the ski cap. But other people, if their mask has like some heavy teeth in it, or is particularly long, they'll take an elastic strap and wrap it up here, and they'll just put it underneath the chin of the muzzle and wrap it up along the top of the head, so that it's sitting up here and it's not squeezing around your ears and things like that. Just keep it up there. You might need another piece to hold it in place. It just depends on how much weight there is involved. The joint between the bottom jaw right here and the top of the head right here free of obstruction so that the elastic can do its work. So when your jaw goes down, it'll go down too. And you might want to put a wire in just the jaw part to keep it firm, just so it's not floppy, so it just, you won't be bumping anything, so it'll be like flop. It'll be nice and sturdy. But yeah, so whenever you talk, it'll be like, just like, if you have your hand here and you go, you see it pushes it down like, so, it's like that.
Sweet.
And if you were like making a larger head and you didn't have, you couldn't start with a ski cap base or a hood base, you would make like the foam, like if it was like a rounded head shape, you make like the foam ball or whatever, and then you make the jaw and you can just stick the elastic directly onto the foam itself on the outside, and then you'll still have it moving like that, but it won't be right up against your face. It'll be attached to the part out here.
Cool.
Yes.
And what is Wonderflex?
Wonderflex, I actually haven't. And I'll tell you why. Because it costs a lot of money. Yeah, unfortunately. Something bad. You've worked with it, right, Ann?
A little bit, yeah. I made some portfolio out of it. It's nice for little details, I found, but if you want to sculpt like a lot of rounds, it's not so great. And it's like for like this little square piece, it was like $7. It's ridiculously expensive. You're better off working with Encore, Fun Foam, for real, yeah.
Well, since we can more for like weapons.
Oh, for a hard plastic look?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what you can do is you can start with your foam core bases like that, and you can go to Walmart or the hardware store. You can actually get like those beware of dog signs, for sale by owner signs, and they're made out of styrene plastic.
Yeah.
And you just take that styrene plastic that's very thin, you can heat it up with an embossing heat gun and just make your curved shapes like that. And the same technique as with this kind of foam. And then you just let it cool, and you can either hot glue it or contact cement it directly over the your base that you have. And it'll give it that hard plastic look, and you can sand it and carve it and paint it and things like that. And it's a lot cheaper because it's like $1 or $2 a sheet.
Yeah.
As opposed to several dollars that requires all kinds of certain setting and chemicals and things like that. So. And if you need, say, larger pieces, they're in like your industrial areas. You'll usually find stores that'll sell it by the piece. Are you local to the area?
I'm actually in Queens.
Okay, well that's not too far away.
Yeah.
There's another place on 820 in Fort Worth it's called Regal Plastics, and they'll sell the large sheets of styrene plastic.
Okay.
So it's a good place.
Gloves. They're big.
Oh,
Or
big
fingers.
cartoony
Also fingers.
All right. You need proportions that are larger, like, hey, that's so much bigger than my hand. So what I do is, for this guy right here, I started with a glove. Oh wow. And I actually made the fingers, and I sculpted like little finger shapes out of wire. I just bent like a little frame. Took a hanger wire and made like a little shape like that and put a ring on it so that it slipped over my finger. And then I covered it with batting just to make it flow. And then I took the rings and I slipped them over the fingers and just put a little stitch to hold them onto the glove, and then I covered the entire thing with batting. So when I put it on, my fingers can grab it. And so I have control, so I can actually pick things up and hold things and write a little bit too, actually.